Hello, my name is Avery Taylor, and these are 10 MLB stars that I think will regress in 2026. Again, I'm not hoping for this for any of them. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get right into it. Kicking things off, we have Carlos Esteves, the closer for the Kansas City Royals. Across the last two seasons, he has been phenomenal, had a 2.45 ERA in both seasons, and had over 40 saves in 2025. He uses his big-time fastball to produce fly balls, which has worked well in Kauffman Stadium up to this point. Next season, they're planning to move the outfield fences in, which I think could be detrimental to his game. This is a guy that doesn't get a lot of swing and miss. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, and last year had an issue with walks more than ever. Combine that with his ground ball rate, which is literally in the first percentile, and I think he could struggle in 2026 with a few more home runs, which are scary for relievers. Second on the list today is Sal Frelick, the outfielder for the Milwaukee Brewers. Last season, he took a big step forward in his age 25 year. Not only did he play great defense and run the base as well, but he also had an above average bat. He had a 756 OPS and a 111 OPS plus, 12 bombs, 63 RBIs, and 19 stolen bases. He admittedly has one of the higher floors of any of the players on this list just because of how much value he finds throughout all of the course of the game, but offensively, I have some concerns. Last year was really the first year we saw of him pulling the ball in the air with any success. He went from an below average rate to a much above average rate, and then also his BABIP continues to climb well above 300. And I think that his home runs are just a little bit high. Last year he hit 12 and previously he had hit 5 across his entire career. I'm just not a believer in him moving forward with the stick. I think he can provide excellent value elsewhere. First three seasons of Jeremy Pena's career were the definition of consistently average. He never had an OPS plus above 102 and never had an OPS plus below 95. Yet in 2025, he found an 840 OPS, a 132 OPS plus, and still maintained the relative power at 17 bombs, had a 304 batting average, 363 on base, 477 slug, and an 840 OPS. He did so by pulling the ball in the air much more this season. Last year and the year before, he was actually below average in those regards, and I just think that there's too much proven data for him to take this giant jump without having some regression in 2026. He might not be the league average hitter that he was, but I don't expect him to be a superstar both at the plate and on defense and base running. Not much went right for the Colorado Rockies in 2025. Hunter Goodman was the lone standout for them, and he did so behind 31 bombs and an 843 OPS. It was the lone bright spot in an otherwise dismal world. Hunter Goodman did so by pulling the ball in the air with the absolute best of them, combining that bat speed to produce a lot of homers on the pull side, but I do have concerns about his game heading into 2026. While his underlying peripherals like the K rate and walk rate are improving, they're still very far away from ideal. He strikes out a ton, swings and misses a bunch, and doesn't square up the baseball all that well. He is using his physical traits and pulling the ball in the air to great avail, but I wonder if that will succeed as much in 2026, and thus I think he'll be more of an above average bat. The Arizona Diamondbacks starting rotation will be a rough one in 2026, and it will be made worse if Ryan Nelson doesn't step up to the plate like I think he will not. Ryan Nelson did an excellent job last year at using his fastball to get great value. It was one of the most valuable pitches in all of baseball, but I don't think he'll be able to replicate the same success. It doesn't have defining characteristics that make it elite, and I think that aside from that, his off-speed pitches are underwhelming. He didn't do a great job at avoiding hard hit baseballs, doesn't do a great job of striking guys out, and the walk rate actually got worse in 2025. Everything's trending for an implosion for Ryan Nelson in 2026, and that's while the Diamondbacks are counting on him. Trevor Rogers looked like one of the best pitchers in baseball across the back half of the year, posting a 1.81 ERA across 18 starts. He did so by not giving up home runs to basically anybody. Combine that with the fact that he pretty much nailed everything you're looking for. K rate was good, walk rate was good, ground ball rate was good, extension's good on his fastball, which makes up for the low fastball velocity. He just does everything at a good level, but I don't think it's representative of who he was in Miami across his 2022 to 2024 time. He just was not that good in that time. He had a 5.09 ERA across the 52 starts that he made and had a 4.42 FIP. I don't think that the version of Trevor Rogers we saw in 2025 is more representative of him than the version we saw from those 4 seasons, and I think he will regress back to the norm in 2026. Tyler Soderstrom took a nice step forward in his third season in the major leagues, had 25 bombs, 8 stolen bases, and 820 OPS, and also played good enough in left field to not be an issue. I think he's going to be a player that struggles to perform up to his ex-WOBA because he does things really well. He hits the ball hard, has great exit velocities, Barrel rates are good, bat speed is good, launch angle sweet spot percentage is good, but then you look at his launch angle on the whole and it's not great. And then you look at his pull the ball in the air rate and it's not great. I just think he's going to be a player that struggles to perform up to what he could be with the type of bat ball skills that he has. He hits the ball hard. It's just a lot of the time it's going into the dirt or going up the middle and not into areas that will be highly productive for him. I think that that could lead to some variance and a down six. Brian Bayo had a solid 2025 season with a 3.35 ERA across 28 starts and 29 appearances, 166 innings pitched. He did so with a good ground ball rate and an also solid barrel and hard hit percentage, which helped negate a lot of the poor strikeout and walk results he has. I think that much traffic while pitching in Boston is just a recipe for disaster, and I think we've seen that across his career so far. He's been a mid-4 ERA type pitcher, which is serviceable, but it's not the type of pitcher he was last season. Luckily, Boston already reinvented their pitching staff and don't have to count on him to be a frontline starter. Instead, he can be an inning eater like you hope he is. Every year, I like to take a shot at one of the most established players in all of baseball, one of the premier stars. And this year, I decided let's go after one of the most beloved players for some reason, and I went after Freddie Freeman. He has one of the most inspiring stories in all of baseball, and he's very charismatic. But on the field, I think his game is slipping, especially on the underlying side. I think last year we finally saw a little bit of a decline in athleticism. At 36 years old, his bat speed is starting to dip. He's clear down in the 19th percentile. And then the thing that made his game so dynamic is the fact that he just never struck out and he always walked a ton. And while his rates are still above average, they slipped significantly in 2025. If these kind of trends continue, I think he'll still be good, but I don't think he'll be the premier superstar that we like to envision whenever we think of Freddie Freeman. Now, will it affect the Dodgers? No, but for Freddie Freeman's case, it will be sad to see him start to get into this aging veteran type of status. And finally, I'm going to finish off my assault on people named Freddie with Freddie Peralta of the Milwaukee Brewers. He finished 5th in the Cy Young voting last year. He was an all-star. He's one of my favorite pitchers in all of baseball. He was just incredible. I think he did some excellent things. He strikes out people at an insane rate. Nobody's touching them. They're always whiffing. And when they do, you're not hitting the ball hard. It's the perfect combo for a right-handed pitcher. The problem is he gives up a ton of walks. The barrel rate is not fantastic. And then last year we saw a significant decrease in hits and home runs despite not much really being that different on the underlying numbers. I just think a reset back to where he's been from 2022 to 2024 should be expected. A mid-3 ERA, which is still very, very good, but I just don't think he's going to be Cy Young finalist, absolute superstar, premier pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers like we saw last year. And that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm not hoping for this for any of these players. I don't want this downfall for any of them. It's just what I think will happen in 2026. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a wonderful day.